So I'm very angsty. I'm a little more into it, right? Though. Oh, you moved your chair.
Yeah, you gotta
I'll just double check that you're in it.
Yeah, because we can edit and stop it.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, you don't even have to stop.
Am I still fine? Yeah, you're
I
fine.
moved the camera back.
Yeah, so there's a little more room.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a smiler, so just bear with me.
I don't have a beard.
I'm not pregnant.
And I'm not a boy.
Okay, here we go.
So, Jay, Olympia, and Alex. In the last session, we discussed your mom expressed her childhood traumas to you guys. We kind of explored that that issue and how it played out, and we got Jay kind of to see a different side of things. He's not fully accepting, but we're working on it. And Alex expressed some concerns about feeling like he wasn't getting any attention for his, for his part of the problem.
Exactly.
So we're going to pick up today, and we're just going to kind of explore some assumptions. We're just going to talk about our stories. We're going to try and detach from them and make them just a story. So then we can use that to look at the situation from an outside perspective. Okay? So, Olympia, could you start by talking about your childhood trauma from a removed point of view? Like, how would you tell that if it was just a story to you?
It would be about a girl who, her father did some things to her that father shouldn't do. He loved her, but he just, he did bad things, and it really made the relationship difficult because nobody knew. And when I finally decided to tell everybody, nobody believed me. And my own father told me that no one would believe me and that nobody cared.
Whose father?
My father.
The little girl's father?
Yeah, the little girl. I'm sorry, yes, I started to personalize that. Yes, the little girl tried to tell everybody, and the little girl's own father said, nobody's going to believe you. Nobody cares. And he was right. So she was all by herself.
So the little girl in your story faced a lot of resistance and then became isolated from her family.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's see if we can see any recurring themes in your son's story. So Alex, could you just tell me a story about your experiences?
Well, Peter. Oh, do I talk about it like my mom did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, there was a boy, and he loved his grandfather very, very much, and his whole family, and really liked going to all the big family functions and trips, and I really felt special, and the boy felt very special, especially with his cousin Peter, and Peter would pay special attention to him, and would promise him things, and then he asked him to do some things that the little boy was worried about that didn't seem right, but it made the boy feel so special and loved. And he said if he told anybody, they wouldn't believe him, and then he wouldn't be able to go on the family trips anymore, and he wouldn't be able to come up to the house anymore. And the little boy knew it was wrong, but he didn't know how to get out.
Thank you. Both of you guys did a wonderful job. Jay, I'm going to bring you back into the session. I see that you wandered off in your brain somewhere. Can you talk with me and with your mom and with your brother about the themes that you saw? So I had pointed out in your mom's story that there is some isolation, some loneliness, some fear, and I think a lot of those are evident in your brother's story, but I'd like to hear which one stood out the most to you.
I don't know if I'm answering this way the right way, but I guess, I'm sorry, this just makes me feel really uncomfortable.
Well, let's explore that for a minute. What is making you uncomfortable?
Well, I mean, I know that we keep saying that I'm like coming around to believing these stories, but to hear those kinds of things said about people I know, that it's gross. Hearing those things just makes me feel really uncomfortable. It's like, it's kind of stuff I just don't really want to hear. I think it's weird and gross. And
So let's go back to what you said about how you know that the stories are about people that are in your life that you care about.
well, yeah, I mean, I think that's obvious.
So what makes you think that they're false? What makes you think these people aren't capable of doing what your family members, your close family members are saying?
Well, I mean, it's just like faith, right? If you don't see it, it's hard to believe. And I haven't seen anything like that.
But you've said that you've seen Alex around Peter quite a bit. Maybe more than a 14 and a 17-year-old would actually hang out?
I mean, I don't let myself think about those things because it's gross and it's just like weird. So I can't lie and say it didn't cross my mind, but I didn't allow myself to consider it. But
That was very brave of you to admit that, maybe you had an inkling of something, or, there is a possibility that there's...
well, I've heard things from other, I watch TV, I know stuff happens, but I never wanted to think that that could happen with people I know. Whatever. So I thought if I didn't think about it, there's no way it could be true.
That's a viewpoint that a lot of people share with you. So I'm going to switch back over to Alex and Olympia. How did you guys feel when your son and your brother used the word gross?
Start.
Well, it made me feel pissed off. Because if it happened to him, he'd be having a different answer right now, a different response. But it didn't. It happened to me. And for him to even say that it possibly isn't even true, it makes me really mad. It makes me just want to break something.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you are enraged and you can't control it, and 1 being calm, can you put yourself on the scale?
How I'm feeling toward my brother?
Yep, right now.
10.
So now your family...
So I get in trouble for saying how I feel now?
That's not what we're doing. We're just establishing a universal scale so we can talk about it, so you can understand, instead of him just using his feelings. Okay. So Olympia, would you like to talk about how you felt when your son used the word gross?
It is gross. It is gross to think that those types of things can happen when people say it happens. It is gross. I feel that your anger about us saying it is in the wrong direction, and that's what upsets me. I think it's natural for you to think it's gross and appropriate, but your outward feelings toward it or toward us, the people are saying it's happened, and that's what upsets me. And if I use the same scale, I'm about a 5, because you're my son, and I know you'll come around.
So Jay, can you put yourself on that scale? How are you feeling after hearing your family's response to your statement?
What's the scale again? I don't remember.
1 being calm and 10 being uncontrolled rage. Where do you think you lie?
I don't know. I don't know. Like 4. I don't feel like super angry right now. Anger is not the way I would describe how I feel, so I'm not like, just like 4 or something.
What would describe how you're feeling right now?
Uncomfortable.
That makes sense. So we're going to switch gears a little bit, and I want to ask you guys a question. It's called the miracle question. We're just going to see in everybody's perfect world, what would this situation look like now? Okay? So we're going to start with Alex. If you woke up tomorrow and everything was perfect, how would your relationship with your brother be? Would you still have tension?
No.
Would you be best friends?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about best friends, but, you know, he wouldn't look at me with like doubt and nastiness, and, you know, he would believe me.
Can you tell me some of the interactions? Tell me about some interactions you would have with Jay in your perfect world. What are some things he would say to you that he's not saying right now?
I'm sorry that happened to you, and you know, I've got your back. I believe you, and you're gonna get through this, and we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be here for you.
Thank you. Jay, can you just talk a little bit about how hearing that from your younger brother is affecting you right now? So I'm seeing a lot of body language.
I am sorry. I'm sorry that if it's true, I'm sorry I wasn't there for you.
There has to be that big if. He has to say if. So.
Well, that's what we're working on. Olympia, if you woke up in the morning and the world was perfect, what would your relationship with your family look like? Would you still want the distance that you have from them currently?
Oh, absolutely not. We would all get along and do things as an overall family. My sons would get along much better. They would still have the normal sibling things, but they would, it wouldn't be like this. And I would get along with them better.
So you're having difficulty getting along with your sons or with your family?
With my family, sorry, but I meant in the overall picture.
Okay.
Because of all of this being solved, the difficulties that we're having together would be gone, and then the difficulties with the overall family would be gone as well.
And And how, Jay, would that, if that was your reality, how would that leave you feeling?
What my mom said? Or don't I get to say my own ideal situation?
We're gonna get there. But first, I would like to see how you're feeling about your mom's ideal situation.
Be fine.
You don't have stronger feelings towards a united family than your current family?
I just feel like if we're united, that still means I don't get to see like the rest of my family up in Baltimore. I feel like if I unite with my mom, I can't see them because they want nothing to do with her.
So, in your perception, if you admit to believing your mom and your brother, you fear that the rest of the family will isolate you and
Yeah.
you will be stuck with them.
Oh yeah, I know they will. I know them very well.
Okay, so let's talk about your ideal situation. If you woke up in the morning and you agreed that these terrible things happened to your family members, what would...
Is that part of it?
It is. There's a stipulation. What would your world look like?
I didn't know that was part of it. My grandpa and cousin would say sorry. And Mom and Alex would forgive him. And then we move on and act like it never happened.
Olympia, how would you, if that was the reality that you guys are living in, how would you respond to that? How would that make you feel?
If we could behave as if it all never happened,
I mean, can you?
it would be perfect, but it wouldn't be possible. But I don't think that we can't have something close to that. I know I'm willing to do what it takes.
So you see reunification with your family as a possibility?
Yes. I can't deny what has happened, but I would like to see us resolve it so we all can move forward together.
Is your reunification with your family contingent on something? Do you have an expectation of
I don't need to
them?
hear that anybody's sorry. I just need to hear that
But-
no one is blaming me for what's happened.
But you can't, he needs to say sorry to you, Mom. He can't just not say sorry.
No, it's a really strong protective response, Jay.
Well, I mean, that's how that's like part of the Greek pride is when you've done something wrong, you own it. And you say you're sorry.
Grandpa's never gonna do that. You think he's gonna do that?
Yeah, probably not.
No.
Do you think your cousin has the potential to apologize?
No way.
So to move forward with any type of family reunification, we're gonna have to let that go. Is that something you can get comfortable with?
Well, I mean, I still want to move on and not have to think about it anymore, but I have a hard time with people not being responsible for things they've done.
So I just want to ask you real quickly before we close the session for the day. Jay, on a scale of 1 to 10, being 10 you still think your family is full of liars, and 1 being you think your family is full of liars, and 10 being you agree with them 100%. Can you put yourself on that scale?
The 1 is full of liars.
Mhm.
I'm going to say a 5, and I'm going to tell you why. I feel like I have a pretty good relationship with the rest of my family up in Baltimore, and I am not afraid to ask them. And I will be able to really make more concrete decisions based on what I hear from them on the issue. And I will ask.
are you prepared to accept that maybe they're gonna lie to you?
Yeah, but I feel like I have a pretty good radar for that.
Well, I think, Olympia, I'd like to just get your feelings on the progress that Jake has made being at a 5 versus a 1.
Well, 2 sessions ago, or 3 was a 1. 5, that's really good progress. I appreciate him putting that much effort into it. Thank you.
Do it for your mom.
And Alex, how do you feel that your brother is at a 5 now instead of at a 1?
I mean, it's better than nothing, but I'd rather him believe me, but.
I will, if, depending on what I hear, I will. I mean, if the evidence suggests such, then I will believe you, Alex. I just have to be true to myself and do my own work to find out what happened.
Well, I guess I'm at least happy with you asking. So that must, just for you being willing to do that. I guess that's better than before.
I think we're all in agreement that the improvement is helping relationships within the family, and it's making everybody a little bit more at ease.
Great.
Okay, can I be done now?
Yeah.
You did.
Yes, that was
Alicia,
awesome.
you did. It was great.